I'm Dan Stanton, the editor and founder of Bioprocess Insider and the managing editor of Xconomy, and I'm delighted to be joined by Kevin Sharp. Kevin is the director of business development, Global Business Development Center at Samsung Biologics, a South Korean-based CDMO. Kevin, welcome.
Hi, Dan. Welcome, and thank you for having me today and spending a little bit of time to talk about things in the biologics CDMO industry.
So Kevin and I were scheduled to speak at the Bio event in San Diego, but obviously there's been a bit of a hiccup there in the fact that we are now speaking over Zoom because of COVID-19. So it seems like a pertinent place to begin our conversation. COVID-19 has had a profound impact, as we all know, across pretty much every industry, including the pharma industry. South Korea, however, has acted pretty swiftly and boldly with its transparency and its approach to tackling the pandemic. Kevin, to start us off, how has Samson Biologics in Korea? How has it been affected, and what's going on?
Right. Yeah. Sure. No, I definitely would have to agree with you that the COVID situation globally has really impacted all industry, including the pharmaceutical industry, in terms of how we operate, but also the reactions required as an industry-wide purpose to help find a cure and treatment for this as well. So that's just a whole nother layer on top of just the overall impact that other industries are seeing as well. And as you mentioned, here in South Korea, there was quite a swift movement in terms of reacting across country to the epidemic, and Samsung really followed suit in terms of our ability to react, putting our business continuity plans in place, as well as countermeasures to really help serve our clients, reduce any impact, and really we've had no impact to our business to date so far as a result, and really trying to serve our clients who serve patients globally to ensure we maintain stable supply chains.
Operationally speaking, how is Samsung Biologics going about its business now compared to how it was in January or last December, say?
Right. So again, we've instituted our business continuity plan to address the situation with several countermeasures in place from a daily operational perspective to ensure protection of our employees, as well as any visitors to our facilities, and really, again, putting those in place from day one to protect our employees and maintain stable business operations. From a business development standpoint, we've implemented some innovative technologies, such as a live virtual due diligence and audit, where we're using advanced video technologies to tour our facilities, conduct quality audits via this technology, and really giving our clients access to our facilities while sitting, whether it's from their home office or anywhere else in the world. So it really allowed us to keep pace with the business activities that were taking place and that are really ongoing, and including some business opportunities to help fight the COVID-19 pandemic with various treatments as well. So a lot of changes, a lot of advancements, and opportunities as well for Samsung to continue to serve our clients and patients globally.
Obviously, you're probably unable to tell me some of the opportunities in specific details referring to clients and such, but you do mention some of the opportunities of working with these customers to develop therapies against COVID-19. How much interest has Samson Biologics as a CDMO? Have you seen from the industry coming to you to look to help develop or manufacture some products for coronavirus?
Right. So, I think the key issue globally is capacity. So when there's a treatment or any cure for this pandemic, capacity for manufacturing could and would most likely be the eventual bottleneck in terms of delivering these treatments to patients. And with that, Samsung Biologics does offer the world's largest capacity for biologics manufacturing, which in result has allowed us to be in a position to at least take inquiries and work with clients in trying to find solutions for that. So I think what we've established here over the last 8 to 9 years in building that capacity has really put us in a position to help support that global constraint in the supply chain, and really allow us to utilize the capacity that we have here in Samsung Biologics to help manufacture these treatments potentially for the patients.
And that's really interesting that you bring up capacity. As you say, Samsung Biologics has quite a lot of it down in Songdo, Incheon in South Korea. Samsung Biologics, in my eyes, has kind of really bucked the trend as far as biologics manufacturers go. As you say, 8 or 9 years ago, at a time when CDMOs were entering the space with single use and small volume operations. Samsung Biologics really jumped in with large-scale stainless steel bioreactor capacity. You mentioned the opportunities of or the need for capacity as COVID therapies move through the clinic. I suppose you're pretty happy you have so much capacity and available to industry now. And are you seeing your customers coming to you and moving away from maybe some other areas of the industry because of this desire for capacity?
Right. Yeah. I think it's all based on requirements for the clients. There's definitely a need for a variety of scales depending on the product need, the treatment indication, and the global demand for that. But with that said, I think in situations such as this, where there is such a large demand of a specific product or a large patient base, and again, we could be talking COVID-19, or we could be talking treatments such as Alzheimer's disease, or other indications that have again these profiles that require large manufacturing capacity. And essentially, that's the model Samsung Biologics was building off of, in terms of building ahead of that curve and being prepared for situations such as this.
So you're there and you're prepared. As you say, the large patient population diseases, the Alzheimer's, they haven't quite come through yet, but when they are, that you are there waiting to serve that industry. So at the moment, sort of how much of your 360,000 litres of biologics capacity are you kind of seeing being utilised?
Right. So we've got we have three plants on our campus here, which encompass that 364,000 liters of bioreactor capacity. In most cases, we are trending towards higher utilization of our capacities. Our most recent plant number 3, which has 180,000 liters of that total capacity, is our most open facility at the moment, as it was just recently validated in Q4 of 2018. With that, we're seeing that capacity trend close and over 50% in 2020. And potentially even beyond toward the end of this year, which would potentially allow us to look at other opportunities for expansion of further capacity here at Samsung Biologics.
I have had the actual pleasure of visiting Samson Biologics in South Korea a few years ago, and really your facilities are an amazing sign of engineering achievement in the space. I do worry, though, if some of these large patient population drugs don't end up reaching commercialization, or if a COVID therapy isn't found, are you at risk at all of being underutilized? I know you're talking about potential expansions in the future, but really that relies on what comes through the pipeline, right?
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's always a business risk in terms of uh, how we conduct our expansion and continued growth at Samsung Biologics. But I would think it's fair to say that we would do that with, of course, proper planning and forecasting of opportunities, such as plant number 4, which would be our next expansion opportunity. We are waiting for the proper timing in terms of utilization rates at our existing facilities, while also looking at market conditions, market trends, before jumping the gun, if you will, in terms of advancing too quickly. We want to make sure our growth matches the growth of the market and the trends of the market. And I think with that said, this year we've actually introduced some single-use bioreactor technology at Samsung Biologics, by adding 2 1,000-liter single-use bioreactors to our facility here. So, we're definitely looking beyond the large stainless steel at other opportunities, but at the same time, continuing to realize we do have a strength at large scale. And if there is a need in the market, we will be positioned to expand and cover that as well.
I have to ask, it may be far too early to reveal this, but for the potential 4th facility, would it stay within South Korea, or would you look to position yourself from a manufacturing capacity overseas?
Right. So we do have the infrastructure and utilities ready as part of our site master planning to easily implement and build, construct plant number 4 here in Songdo, South Korea. So that would be the most efficient and optimal expansion plan for Samsung Biologics. However, beyond that, we are looking at other options globally. We are, in fact, opening a development office in the San Francisco area in the second half of 2020. So we are expanding outside of South Korea from a development standpoint into North America, as well as looking to further expand those capabilities and potentially manufacturing as well outside of Korea. So it's definitely on the planning for Samsung Biologics. Timing is always subject to, of course, market demand and growth opportunities.
You preempted me there because I wanted to talk briefly about the development business. As you said, you are setting up a facility in the US. Have you had any delays because of COVID, just to bring this round full circle, to plans to set up that facility?
No, we're continuing as planned with the 2020 opening of that facility. So as of now, no current delays associated with our development office. We are, of course, monitoring closely our clients' impact, of course, with clinical trials that are potentially, and some are facing some delays at the clinic level in terms of enrollment. That could have some trickle-down effect in terms of their programs and the stages at which they're moving. But in terms of our movement forward for that facility, it is, again, on track for 2020 as planned.
And I guess, Kevin, development services, process development, cell line development are relatively new strings to Samson Biologics' bow. Why and this is going back a couple of years because I know you offer these services in Songdo, but why did that come about that you felt like you needed to offer development services to the industry?
Right. Yeah, we definitely look to grow beyond our initial footprint, which was the uh, uh, large bioreactor manufacturing from the initial onset of Samsung Biologics, and have continuously expanded that business in terms of additional services. And the development is just one of them. In addition to others such as drug product as well as smaller scale manufacturing. But back to specifically the development growth, we saw that as a need in the market in terms of bringing in new opportunities from a cell line development perspective, working through process development up to IND filings, and then supporting our clients with clinical and then into commercial demand. So from our perspective, it was more of building an integrated model for supply for our clients and trying to service them as early as, again, cell line development all the way through to drug product manufacturing as well. It was really just a matter of timing in terms of us growing beyond the traditional CMO market, but expanding that into the development to really help build a foundation as well for future opportunities and building relationships with clients earlier in their process and growing with them as their products grow.
And generally speaking, do you feel that third-party manufacturers, the traditional CMOs, need to offer extra auxiliary services, development services, to really put that D in the CDMO to be able to compete in the biologics space going forward? Have we gone far beyond the sort of simple vendor-client relationship towards more strategic relationships in the space?
Right. Yeah, Dan, no, I think it's definitely moving in that direction. And we're seeing a lot of our clients express interest in rationalizing their supply base in terms of consolidating their network of outsourced partners. And if Samsung Biologics is able to do that in other ways, such as in the development space, it really enhances and adds more value for our clients in terms of them managing their overall supply chain, as well as their product programs, which are really the lifeblood for their business in terms of bringing new products to market. And again, we're always looking to expand that integrated service. And even on the back end, for example, we're talking about development on this far upstream. Even on the biosafety testing side of the business, we saw a bottleneck in the industry there in terms of offering specific release testing that was being done outside of Samsung Biologics. And as a result, we added a biosafety testing lab to our facility here in Songdo to, again, help streamline the batch approval and release process for our clients, and really adding that total value to their supply chain. And definitely I see that as more of a trend in the industry to find partners that can not just provide one solution, but multiple solutions within the whole supply chain of their products.
So it's really about simplifying the supply chain. And I guess my final question, to go back to COVID-19, unfortunately, do you think the need to simplify the supply chain in the biologic space is going to increase once we get out the other side of COVID-19?
Right. Yeah, I think there's, it's a combination of simplification as well as robustness. A lot of the feedback we're getting from clients in light of the COVID situation is they need to take a step back and look at a bigger strategic view of their supply chain and what that means in terms of stable stable supply, assurance of supply, whether it be through primary sourcing or even second source strategies, which are really a hot topic these days with our clients and potential new clients as well. I think this has really prompted the industry to look at where and how they're manufacturing their products and building supply chains that, again, are stable and have redundancy in them as well, and looking for partners such as Samsung Biologics to help support that and maintain product delivery into the market.
Kevin, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we'll be able to speak next time face to face rather than through technology, the computer technology. But thank you so much, and yeah, have a great bio.
All right, thank you. It was a pleasure, and yeah, I agree. Hopefully, one day we'll meet in a nice, warmer and sunnier place than where we are today.
Thanks.
Yep. Take care.